So, for instance, if you have one joke and like a black guy tells that about his own race, that's okay. But like a white guy tells it about a black guy, then you would be mad about it, or?
Mm, I think I think it's different if you're talking from your own perspective. For example, I watched a documentary on Holocaust Black humor, and there was a really interesting point in between. I can't remember correctly, but the thing was, for example, Holocaust. A lot of Holocaust survivors and their like granddaughters, grandsons, things, people like that, found it funny, the black humor, but only when someone who has been through it or someone who has been affected told it. When someone from outside tells it, it just is not the same because this person hasn't gone through all of the struggle to tell a joke. It's like, I don't know, having no suffering, only telling the joke. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I'm explaining it correctly.
Oh,
I think
well,
I understand what you mean, but
yeah, it makes sense. But like, if you're saying something, you can make joke about capitalist, rich capitalist. You're implying then that they have no struggle. They had less struggle than other people in their life, and that's like an assumption you make on your own without, yeah, knowing anything about that category. I don't think you can necessarily say that.
I admit that's my prejudice.
Yeah, yeah, like they can have more power in like a social environment, like more money, or they have more wealth given to them by their parents. But like you can't put struggle up against power, in my opinion.
Mm, I agree with that. You can't compare struggle and power.
So
maybe there are different types of struggles, or maybe it's more about. I mean, let's say from Sanya's point of view, then it's more about the starting position you have in a society. Maybe that's because yes, uh, everybody can have struggles. So yeah, you cannot generalize like white people don't have struggles. So you can definitely make jokes about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel that still in society, I feel that I don't feel personally affected by jokes, and that can be because of I think in the Netherlands maybe a bit more than in some other countries we try to be straightforward and can be quite direct, and it's maybe like, let's say, part of bit of creating a thicker skin and knowing what is personal and what is not. But I also think that that is also because I'm not a minority, so I'm not affected as much by it as I would be if I would have a different position. I could imagine myself being more affected um, by those jokes, and still then this power hierarchy or whatever social stance in society does play a role. I can't really say because obviously I haven't felt different as I do as a white male, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I don't know. I do feel some kind of uh, I don't know if it's like empathy, or I do understand that people are more touched by those because it is often about. I mean, it is about then social injustice or about things that they sometimes can't do anything about. Um, so I don't know. For me, I also have not clear lines. Like I find a lot of jokes about gays or black. I don't find okay, but then I'm more okay with Nazi jokes, which is, where's my logic in sense of humor, why do I want to accept the one, yeah, why do want to accept one joke but not want to accept the other joke fully, or at least feel like, okay, that's not okay, or I should not think that that is okay. I don't know if you have some sort of comparable like inner struggle of like, can I laugh about that? Or like, why the fuck did that make me laugh so loud? And on the other hand, I'm totally not okay with certain jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizable?
Yeah, definitely. One example I can give you, like, of jokes that I've left, but then I felt really bad, was, for example, like jokes about people with cancer. For example, like I've watched like a show. I don't know where I watched or where I heard it, but like I honestly, like, I thought it was really really funny, but then I was like, God damn, like, we're talking about cancer, like, I felt a bit bad after, like feeling like I shouldn't be laughing about this, like, this is really bad and really sensitive. And so yeah, in this sense, like, I have this as well. And I think, like, it's easier to empathize with minorities, like, because they are a minority. Like, you have, how can I explain, like, imagine like a small circle and then you have a bigger circle around it. So you have, like, in this bigger circle you have more people talking about these people, and like it's not as many people here talking about these people. So you, because of the stereotype, like, the people in the smaller circle, like, at some point I think, like, they just get mad and upset because they see the joke as a way to, like what we are saying, like, to create this idea of who they are or what they are that is not correct. And this is not like a nice thing, let's say. Like, when you are basically judged, or when you are like seen in a way that is not really true, but just because, like, there is this ongoing joke that just goes all the time. So I think this is upsetting, and because they are a minority, you can see them. If you're not part of the group, you can see, like, how they are affected by this. So I think it's easier to empathize, like, and it doesn't happen so much when you don't, it's harder to empathize when, like, with someone is rich, when someone is like, it's like when we're talking about like this high person, like in a high level of society, like, it's hard to empathize, like, with their pain, because you're not there, you're far from it, like. And I think we I don't know, like, we take a lot of our own, like, insecurities, I would say, like if someone makes fun of something that we are insecure about, we tend to be offended by it, so it's hard, like, it's like, at some level, like, it's hard to define any boundary, like, in this sense, because you might, with any joke, you might offend anyone, even people in the same minority. Some might be offended, some might not be offended. So, like, it's also, like, it has a lot to do with your own personal insecurities and what you believe is right and what you believe is wrong. So for me, I can't draw a line in what's wrong, what's not, as long as the intention is not to actually offend.